On November 20th, 1945, the surviving leaders of Nazi Germany entered a courtroom in Nuremberg. Hermann Göring, Joachim von Ribbentrop, Wilhelm Keitel, men who had helped drag the world into war, now sat packed into the wooden dock, listening through headphones as prosecutors prepared to put the Third Reich on trial. But one defendant seemed different. Rudolf Hess, Adolf Hitler's former deputy, claimed he could not remember. Not the crimes, not the meetings, not the years when he had stood near the center of Nazi power. Hess had once been one of the most powerful men in Germany. In 1941, he had stunned the world by flying alone to Scotland, apparently hoping to negotiate peace with Britain. Instead, he was arrested. For the rest of the war, Hess was held in British custody, where he became increasingly paranoid. He claimed his food was being poisoned. He suffered from depression and seemed mentally unstable. So when he arrived at Nuremberg saying he had lost his memory, the court had a problem. Could a man be tried for crimes he claimed he could not remember? Psychiatrists examined him. Lawyers argued over him. The judges had to decide whether Hess was sane enough to stand trial or whether his mind had broken before justice could reach him. The question hanging over the courtroom was simple. Was Rudolf Hess ill, or was he acting? For days, Hess sat in the defendant's dock, reading novels, staring blankly, and insisting that his memory was gone. Then, on November 30th, 1945, everything changed. During a hearing on whether he was fit to stand trial, Hess rose before the tribunal and made a statement. He told the judges that from now on, his memory was once more available to the outside world. Then he admitted that his amnesia had been simulated. He said it had been done for tactical reasons. The courtroom had just watched one of Hitler's closest former allies confess that his lost memory had been, at least partly, an act. But doctors thought the truth was more complicated. Hess was not simply a master performer. His memory loss seemed to move between conscious deception and genuine mental collapse. A mind hiding from reality, and a man trying to control how that collapse was seen. That was what made the case so unsettling. He had faked amnesia. But he may also have been genuinely unwell, and the tribunal still had to decide what justice meant for a man who had helped build a murderous regime, then tried to disappear behind a broken mind. Hess's strange behavior later fed wild rumors that the man in custody was not Hess at all, but a double. Decades later, DNA evidence would finally put that theory to rest as false. In the end, Rudolf Hess was convicted of conspiracy and crimes against peace. Unlike many of the other Nuremberg defendants, he was not sentenced to death. He was sentenced to life in prison. For decades, Hess remained in Spandau prison, eventually becoming its only inmate. The man who once claimed he could not remember the Nazi regime spent the rest of his life remembered for it. History often remembers Nuremberg as a courtroom of evidence, law, and verdicts. But it was also a theater of denial. Some men claimed they were only following orders. Some claimed they knew nothing. And Rudolf Hess claimed he could not remember at all, until the moment he admitted that forgetting had been his final defense.